Michael Shellenberger, this is scary. Yesterday, a group of people in Scotland protested a new hate speech law. Quote, the irony of this hateful, spiteful law coming into play on April's Fool's Day, said one of the protesters, criminalizing free speech in this country is absolutely disgraceful. But it really is so far reaching that it literally means anything. You could just be having a conversation in your house and somebody just hear of it secondhand and then report you. And you could go to prison for up to 7 years. But let's hear what Michael Shellenberger, he's on a roll these days after the WPATH files, which I also made a video about. So if you're not subscribed to my channel, subscribe, and you can check out all these great videos. They're going to be very informative for you, and you'll be a much better person because of it. So that's the other thing he's done. And before that, it was the Twitter files. So this guy's been on a roll. Let's check this one out.
Yesterday, a group of people in Scotland protested a new hate speech law.
The irony of this hateful, spiteful hate crime law coming into play on April Fool's Day. You couldn't make this up. On the nation's traditional practical joke day, Hums Are Useless and friends, along with Police Scotland, enforce such a draconian new law, criminalising free speech in this country. It is absolutely disgraceful.
While I was happy to see the protest, I am deeply alarmed that the Scottish government passed this law in the first place. J.K. Rowling rightly noted on X that the law gives the government the power to arrest people who refuse to call even male rapists and murderers women, or she and her, if that's what those men demand. The Hate Crime and Public Order Act of 2021 creates a new crime for, quote, stirring up hatred, including related to trans identity.
So transgender identity is written specifically into this bill. So you have to wonder, does this bill make biology class illegal? Is speaking the truth a crime of conscience in Scotland now? And obviously this will be used to punish anybody who goes against any woke orthodoxy.
People can even be arrested for things they say in the privacy of their own home. You can be arrested for being simply insulting. Prosecutors need only prove your stirring up of hatred was likely, not even intended. Now, you might think that this has nothing to do with you. You don't live in Scotland, you may not even live in Europe. But it has everything to do with you. What you say online could be held as criminal hate speech in Scotland, simply by fact of somebody there reading it.
Yeah, you have to be aware of this stuff because far-left politicians are pushing this stuff across the West. In Canada, Trudeau's got a bill that in some ways is even worse than this. Subscribe to the channel and you can watch my videos on that. It has future crime in it, punishment for things you haven't actually done yet, as well as life in prison for whatever hate speech crimes is going to mean.
But another part of it appears to be driven by genuine hatred. Just listen to Scotland First Minister Yousaf Hamza condemning the Scottish government on racial terms.
The Lord President.
This is absolutely unbelievable, this part. You just won't believe. Scotland, okay? Scotland is still like 90% Scottish, all right? Listen to this guy.
The Lord Justice Clerk, white. Every High Court judge, white. The Lord Advocate, white.
Hamza suggests that the reason for
the way he spits it out too, and he goes on in the video I made, I show you the longer part of that, a longer section of that, and he just keeps going on, white, and it's like an accusation, white. In fact, it is an accusation. It is hate. In fact, 4,000 people complained as soon as on April 1st, when this bill went through, when this law went through, 4,000 people complained about him for that speech. Guess what? He didn't do anything wrong, according to the police. Well, we know what happens with these laws. They're only used one way. They're totally political. They only are applied in one direction.
Hamza suggests that the reason for all this is because Scottish people are racists. But the real reason is that 95% of Scottish people are white. The fact that Hamza, a non-white Muslim, is the highest-ranking Scottish politician is a sign of how non-racist the Scottish people are. For Hamza to reach the top political job in Scotland and then insist that the reason he's so rare is because the Scottish people are racist is itself hateful. The bad news is that the censors are on the offensive and we're on the defensive. In the US, Europe, Scotland, Germany, Ireland, Canada, Brazil, an alliance of government agencies, government-funded think tanks, and corporate news media have come together to demand ever more censorship.
Yeah, I mean, this is now a phenomenon across the Western world. Now, in the United States, fortunately, they have the First Amendment, but you know, you've still got the Biden administration with, backdoor portals into social media companies, trying directly censoring people through the social media companies now, which that's illegal. They're not supposed to be doing it, but they are doing it. They have been doing it. And that's happening across the West. It all seems coordinated, like the mass migration. It seems coordinated across the West, as if, I don't know, maybe the leaders are all getting together somewhere, like, I don't know, Switzerland or something, and all making agreements on these things that nobody actually voted for. Strange, isn't it? And they all seem to be coming up with these censorship laws that people don't actually want. They want it. The goal of it all seems to be to just wreck Western civilization.